Hi.
Hi.
It's a special day.
This is a very special day.
For a bunch of reasons.
Yeah, obviously. It's always a special day.
Obviously.
But we should talk about why.
Should we talk about why?
Yeah.
Ariana,
what are you doing here?
Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dana Cathan.
Unapologetically,
We're here to do what we want to do.
spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.
Did you plan that? No.
It just occurred to me. Well, honestly, even if I had never met you, that's something I say at least 4 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you say that's something that's in your vernacular, Ariana, what are you doing here when it has nothing to do with you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know
always
what's from.
thinking it.
Always thinking it.
Always thinking it.
Always thinking it.
But anyways, we're happy you're here.
Thanks for having me. I'm a big fan.
I know you are. You're always such a supporter. You're always like talking about our, episodes and everything. And
You interact with our socials, I think, more than anyone else.
I
on
know.
it. You guys are like, you slay me. Literally see you in bed like
Seriously, that is me.
she tee-hee-hees
I
in bed.
tee at all of your TikToks and your episodes are the funniest podcast I know.
I mean, we paid her to say that. It is what it is. Speaking of like getting paid and whatnot, we have so much to get into today and I'm excited. But I'm sitting here with like the owners of the new hottest spot in town, something about her. And yesterday you guys had your official opening. I saw a bunch of videos, obviously, but like, because we went to the soft opening. So I have been waiting 12 hours for this story. So
Yeah.
please tell me everything. What's the business? How was yesterday? The highs, the lows, spare no details.
Well, I mean, we didn't know what to expect. And I know that sounds crazy, but truly we're like, okay, I'm sure like we'll have a pretty decent turnout. I mean, people have been anticipating as much as we have, but like we could not have anticipated or expected the turnout that we had. People started lining up at 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time I got there closer to 10, the line was probably, 75 people deep.
And that's it opens at 10.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
2 hours earlier. So it's basically a Taylor Swift concert.
yeah.
pretty much.
And of course we walk in, we're having issues with our POS, like our main terminal was not working. We luckily had these like portable handheld ones, so
Mhm.
we were able to do that. But
Then the
it was,
tickets weren't printing in the kit. It was like all these things that had never been a problem the entire time decided to like, hey, like at 9 a.m., like an hour before you guys open, it would be like really cool and fun if I just like didn't work.
Mhm. So obviously we were still able to let people in, but it was going to have to be a slower process. We didn't want to have to overwhelm the staff or the kitchen. And we wanted everyone that was coming in to have a really lovely experience and not like overcrowd everything, or it's a small space,
Mhm.
So we tried to let everybody know that before we even opened the doors.
Yeah.
But-
We just wanted to like, look, we're a small space and that's by design. We didn't want to overextend ourselves on our first business like this venture together. And so we were excited about having this like small, cozy space. And so very quickly we get full. And
Mhm.
that's great. We love that. That also means that we have to kind of like, we have to gauge what's the flow of things, And, we have Jamie, our chef back there, our amazing staff, Parker, Dulce, Josh, like in the kitchen, just like turning out sandwiches. I think they made like 300 sandwiches or something.
Yeah. And by like 2,
Yeah.
we were running out of things.
Did-
we're having to 86, like
We were like,
half of the
yeah.
menu.
Did you guys sell it completely by the end of the day?
Almost.
Yeah. So we knew that we were starting to talk about, okay, because the line was now it was almost at Sir, which is a block away. Yeah. It was, and we just knew there's no way we're going to get through all these people. So we knew that we were going to have to cut the line off. And so we
gave it till, 3 o'clock. And then we were like, okay, realistically, how many people are we going to actually be able to? Because we didn't want to have people waiting outside for much longer if we know,
Totally.
So once we started to be able to understand like what exactly we will be able to handle in that last hour, we were like, let's go outside. We'll talk to people. Obviously, we would love to be able to have everybody in there, but we're open from 10 to 4. And, it's
Yeah.
the first day. And it was so awesome and cool to see how many people wanted to come and support and get sandwiches and come inside. And so, eventually, I think we'll be able to get everybody. But it's just crazy. It's like the best problem to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like, oh, we need to actually maybe have more seats. We need to maybe have a bigger space. Like that's a great
Yeah.
problem to have than the opposite of being like, no one's coming.
And of course, our whole thing was like, well, how do we make it so people aren't waiting hours and hours and hours? And we didn't know when to call it, or we didn't want to discourage people. Having to turn people away is heartbreaking and devastating for them, for us, for everything. But we just didn't anticipate that, and we wanted to give it as much time as possible just to see how we could get as many people in and out as we possibly could. So obviously, it being our first time at this, and and our staff and everyone, no one really knew how to handle the situation in the best way possible. And so we went out there and met everyone, took pictures with them. I mean, that's all we could do at that point.
Yeah.
Was just, if we couldn't meet them inside, was to meet them outside. And we honestly didn't even know like how far the line went back. We could peek our head out, and that's when we saw like that the line was going back there. We're like, okay, this is not going to happen today.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Everybody was so nice about it.
Yeah.
Like, and understanding of, like, some people were like, I mean, when I got in this line, I kind of thought it's not.
Yeah.
And I was like, that made us feel, I think, a lot better, because I think we were so nervous about going out there and having to say that, like, we won't be able to get to them that day. And so it was awesome how nice they were about it.
And understanding,
Because
yeah.
It's scary. It's a scary feeling being like, oh, we're going to disappoint
You walk out there, they
people.
just slap you in the face.
They're like, fuck you.
I mean,
Like, fuck it, Sam.
well, because when we find out that people had like traveled, or they were just
Yeah.
here for the one day, and you're just like, oh, like it sucks, but we really appreciate everyone coming and spending hours waiting. That's a really wonderful feeling. And,
we hope that we can one day provide each and every one of them with the best sandwich ever.
yeah.
Well, I guess that the moral of the story is the early bird gets the egg. Just is what it is. Okay, then I want to know from the day, from each of you, what was your high point? Because obviously the low point was not being able to get to everyone and the POS system. So like,
Sure, yeah.
each of you individually, like, what was your moment that you were like, holy shit?
I feel like there was a moment when we were like folding more menus or something, when you were like, are you crying?
No, you came and gave me a hug, and you're like,
Yeah.
and she just had like tears in her eyes, and I was like, are you crying? She's like, I've been crying all day.
Yeah, I
And
was
I was
crying
like-
like all morning. Like, when I was
She like
crying
takes a
over-
ciabatta bun and is like, oh god.
We need those again.
No. Yeah, we're running low. No, but it was, I don't know if there was a particular moment, but it was just kind of seeing everyone in there and everyone having a good time and enjoying everything. I mean, there was not a crumb left on any of those trays. People were just really taking in this space and enjoying it. And it was just like, that was the reaction I was hoping that we would get when we could finally have people in there and open up the doors. And, that's, the kind of gratification and response that you want to have after all this time. That was the biggest, the anticipation, and this whole time of like, when people are asking for updates and wanting details and wanting all that, and not being able to give it to them, and just trying to like give them as much detail as you possibly could, but just like, just wait, you're gonna love it. And then having that moment of just seeing everyone's face in there. That
Yeah.
for me.
Maybe a little messy, please. Like, she doesn't choose violence as much as we do, but like in an as nice way as you want to. Was it not just like a little satisfying in terms of the people who have been annoying as fuck for the entire like year or two that this has been going on?
Somewhat, but those people in particular have now just moved the goalpost
Meaning what?
in terms of like what they're gonna say or hate on or whatever. Like, they've got those people in particular, the real diehard trolls. They've moved the goalpost to, it's not gonna last, or they've moved the goalpost to,
Oh, let's see how long it lasts.
like,
Good.
things like that. You know what I mean?
Great, they got it
So-
open, but let's see how long it lasts. Oh, yeah, like
Right.
they heard they were turning people. They're just now. That doesn't mean when people want to hate, they're gonna hate on anything. They're gonna find things to
Right.
hate on, and it's just
And it was never really about that thing
Yeah.
initially. It's just
Totally.
now it's about trying to find something else.
Yeah.
It's like that phrase when people are like, they could never make me hate you. It's like some people are just like, they could never make me not hate
They
you.
could never make me not hate you.
Yeah, they're like, that's what they're gonna do.
You
And
could
those
say
people-
50 babies from a burning building, and they're like, don't you think she could have gotten 51?
Yeah, actually,
yeah. And those people are
the building
probably
wasn't actually on fire.
those people are probably never going to come in.
Right.
I don't think I'll ever meet those people anyway, so I don't
Good.
care.
Go to Subway. And I don't want to like give it too much air, but it's been frustrating as someone who loves you both and knows the vision and behind closed doors knows what you guys have gone through to get this off the ground. I'm like, I'm reposting, I'm hearting, I'm liking, I'm commenting, I'm subscribing. It's great. But I'm glad you guys are a bigger person than me.
I mean,
But I'm glad that you're
Not.
not.
Great.
Yeah, no, of course it's validating. Of course it's vindicating to be like, to put two fingers up and be like, told you so. But I wasn't for those people. It was for the people that were going to come in and eventually love. It was for us. It was for everybody that wants to come and eat sandwiches. It wasn't for the haters.
Totally.
Of course.
It seems like you guys felt the love, and I hope you did.
Yeah.
It wasn't just from what seemed to be in person, but also just online. Like collectively, people are so excited about it.
We got some like really great reviews from people who, are not easy to impress. Like the Eater LA review was incredible. And that was one I was like really nervous about just because they were very honest. And so that felt really nice to be like, feel seen. My favorite sandwich place in New York is one that has, I think they have like 2 or 3 sandwiches basically like on the menu. And sometimes it's like 12:30 and they're like, we're closed, we're sold out. I'm like,
And that, I
And
mean,
you're like, I get it, but I hate it.
I get, but I always feel like not cool, but I feel like, see, and that's why I got my sandwich at 9:00 in the morning.
I mean, that's just what it is, I guess,
When you're a smaller place, hey,
You can only, like, again, we have a tiny kitchen, therefore we can only have so many bodies back there on the line making sandwiches. We can only prep so much, in the time that they have to do it. There's only so much that we can do, even if they prepped for a week, that's going to go in a day if we tried to like feed all of the line, that's, so we have to just be able to accommodate what we can do in a day the night before.
Hey, disrespectfully, Coven. This episode is proudly brought to you by Lolavie, an award-winning hair care line founded by the fabulous, the hot, the chic, Jennifer Aniston. Spring is here now and is a perfect time to reassess your hair needs. So why not listen to someone who's like, I don't know, known for iconic hair?
Exactly. And I'm so glad the sun is finally out. But with heat comes humidity, and with humidity comes my frizzy, poofy hair.
Like with great power comes great responsibility. It's like that, but for frizz.
Maintaining this coif.
That's why Lolavie's lineup includes some styling all-stars that not only repair the look of damage, which I'm the poster child for damage, but also shield your locks from future harm and tame frizz in the process. Even better, these clean, plant-powered products are suitable for every hair type and texture.
And here's a treat for you, our amazing, awesome listeners. For a limited time, you get an exclusive 15% off your entire order at lolavie.com. Just use code disrespectfully at checkout.
My hair also tends to get very tangled, especially after the shower. That's why I love, and actually the first time before I use this, you were like, you're going to love this.
I told you.
The Glossing Detangler, a lightweight spray that detangles, primes, enhances shine, smooths, and protects with the power of chia seeds, superfruit complexes, and botanical extracts.
And I've been loving the Perfecting Leave-In Conditioner because my hair gets super dry, especially during the warmer months, because it hydrates, fights that frizz, and smooths with a superfruit complex and the Rose of Jericho, as well as protects with a vegan thermal shield and extends style with bamboo extract.
Your hair gets dry. My hair sounds like before Lolavie. I'm like trying to resuscitate it. Another thing that helps fight the frizz is the lightweight hair oil. It hydrates, fights frizz, smooths split ends, boosts shine, and repairs the look of damage with a vegan keratin complex and natural botanical extracts like bamboo, chia, and coconut.
Unlock Jennifer Aniston approved hair at lolavie.com. As our loyal listeners, you'll get an exclusive 15% off your entire order when you use code disrespectfully at checkout.
That's 15% off your order at lolavie.com with promo code disrespectfully. Please note you can only use one promo code per order and discounts can't be combined. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please, 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 you guys are amazing. Support our show and tell them we sent you. Your hair will thank you. I first gave AG1 a try because I was tired of taking so many supplements every day and wanted a single solution to support my entire body and lack of ability to care for myself in an easy way as an adult. I love that with just one delicious scoop of AG1, I'm supporting my gut health, immune, and brain health.
I have felt so much more energized throughout the day since implementing AG1 into my daily routine. With AG1, I know I'm covering my bases with high quality ingredients like pre and probiotics for digestion support, vitamin C and zinc for immune support, and folate, magnesium, and ashwagandha for, you know what?
The stress
of it all. The stress support.
Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, and more, but it's powerful, healthy habit that's also incredibly simple. They made it Dana-proof, which I love. It's just 1 scoop once a day, and you can mix it into your water or smoothie. And it actually tastes really good, which looking at it, you wouldn't expect that, but she's delicious. I've been telling everyone about it because of how energetic I've been feeling.
That's true. It really does taste so delish. I look forward to every morning just with some ice and water. Chug it down, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, this undoes the vino and crab rangoons. This is fine.
AG1 is a supplement I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner.
If there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1. That's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner.
If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/disrespectfully.
That's drinkag1.com/disrespectfully. Check it out. Okay, girls, we have so much to talk
I
about.
know. Can I share one thing that I saw this morning that was kind of disturbing that I was completely unaware of
Yes.
on our favorite app?
Home and Gardens.
TikTok. This is just like purely anecdotal, but like somehow it was on Tan Talk, and this guy that worked at a tanning salon, and he was like, I worked here for a really long time, and he's like, apparently like shitting in tanning beds is like a big thing, or they shit in the trash cans.
What?
And people were in the comments, they're like, oh yeah, no, I work at a tanning salon. Like people like are shitting in the
What?
the trash cans. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, this woman shit in the tanning bed, and he's like, there was corn in it. Alright, this is so gross.
Wait.
I don't. He's like, yeah, and the beds.
Like when they're laying there tanning,
yeah,
they just have a
What
poopy?
they have
They're only in there for 20 minutes max.
yeah.
you get the tingle lotion on your butthole and you just lose your faculties. Like, what is actually happening?
I'm so
Yeah.
confused. And then the the trash basket for
Why not-
like your
It's
or
a-
your like bonnet or whatever the hell. I
like
guess that's for
people. It's
spray
like
tan.
it's like again, yeah. You're only in there for a short amount of time. I can't imagine it being
like
that much
legally
of an
you can't be in there for longer than 20 minutes, I think.
Right.
So what would your guys' speculation be as to why someone would do that? Like, do you think it's something more of like a kink, or like someone they just gotta go?
It
Lay a
can't be
space
it's
right
that
now.
common, right? Because like
the fact that it's that common? I don't know.
What do you think it is?
I'm curious
plus
myself.
also
I'm like,
the
what?
beds are like there's like you're laying on like a plastic like
So do they do it like at the end? Do they do it in the middle and just like hang out
lay
for a while?
around.
Like I don't know.
Was it
And then
I
he's-
have to imagine if they're not actually laying down, it's just shooting out. I think if I'm a bedding woman, and not that I've like done this, but they're like getting up and like squatting over the bed and doing it, or into the basket. It
No,
has.
they're squatting into. They're not laying down, and they're like think like, oh, that was not a toot.
Well, in terms of
it was like they just like trust a fart and then
thanks for saying toot.
Yeah. Sorry. You don't like the word fart?
Yeah, I hate that word.
Sorry. Okay. He said that there was this one woman that was peeing and then like using the towel to like wipe it up, or peeing on the towel, and then she like threw up by the bed, and he said this went on for years.
Same person.
So this
Yes.
So this person would go to the tanning salon, not use the restroom, and then just like go into the little room and just use that as like her bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with her?
I don't know. He's like, these tanning salon patrons are cooked, literally.
Literally.
Like their brain is like cooked or something from the bulbs. I don't know.
I mean,
my
the
mind,
fact that they're still using tanning beds, I would say yes, their brain is cooked.
correct. I don't know. In my mind, it's like if I'm like, if I'm gonna be laying here and if I like think I might need to relieve myself beforehand, like use the bathroom before. They have bathrooms there. Like
Yeah.
it's wild. I don't know.
Also,
Crazy.
I feel like the like nicer tanning
They
beds or
are.
higher levels are usually less than 20 minutes. It's like the old shitty ones that people go up to 20.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna maybe do more of an average of like 15 minutes. Hot girls have tummy issues.
Mhm.
I have never been in a situation in my life where I've almost shit a tanning bed. So
Never.
like there's a bathroom down the hall.
Yeah.
So for me, it registers as something that's freakier.
I
like,
can.
they're-
Yeah.
they get off on doing it.
No, literally.
Like tooting and tanning bed.
I can count on one hand the amount of times it's been like a dire emergency situation. And it's never been in a tanning bed. It's never been anywhere there wasn't a bathroom out within
Yeah.
10 feet. It's been like you're in a car, driving, road trip. It's like one of those situations
Yeah.
where you like really
I've had
like
like 5 this
overestimated
morning.
yourself.
But yeah, as someone who has like a fair amount of like, I need to go to potty now. I'm like, still, I've never almost shit in a tanning bed or like or a basket of any kind. I don't know.
no
I'm just
basket. No basket. let's say emergency situation, it goes down. It happens. I would be destroying the evidence of that.
Oh my
so
God.
hard. I'd be like, oh, excuse me, I'm not done in the room. I would like the lengths that I would go to so that no one knew that happened.
I'd be like sneaking out looking for their cleaning supplies.
Oh.
Yes, I would be like, they'd be like,
Absolutely.
are you done? I'd be like, oh, so sorry, I'm not quite finished. Meanwhile, I'm like,
Also think about this. The beds get hot.
yeah.
Like the surface
Oh,
get like
yeah.
it gets like warm. So it's like cooking that. Sorry.
Warm
I'm sorry I had
shit.
to I'm sorry to like put this on you, but it needed
Trigger
to get
warning added in.
trigger warning.
Yeah.
You guys, this is our 21st episode, and if I'm not a mathematician, but at this point, the amount of episodes we have ended up talking about fecal matter, we're probably at 10% of all episodes, which is crazy. I don't know why this keeps coming up, but
10, so twice.
But-
Two
but
and a
it-
half times. 2.1.
oh no, then I am bad at math, so like 20% then, because we've several episodes. But
So
I mean, that's
will-
horrifying.
I haven't been in a tanning bed in I couldn't tell you like literal years, but I will
No.
never be going in a tanning bed.
Not anymore. Well, PSA, nobody should go in
No
tanning
one
beds.
should, but like if this doesn't put the fear of God in you to
Yeah.
not use a tanning bed,
If it's not melanoma, let it be the possibility of laying in shit.
let it be some other type of like skin infection from someone's poop.
Pink eye.
Pink eye. Couldn't you get like some kind of ringworm adjacent
sure.
thing?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
And you see them in there, and I'm sure there are a lot of tanning salon people that take pride in their jobs and like really do a thorough rub down. But it's the same thing in my Pilates studio.
Also, they're high school kids.
I think about this, they just do like this. I think about it every time when we're wiping the machines and they like only give me one towelette instead of two, and I like really get in everything that I touch. But I'm like, even with this, how often do these really get cleaned? Like a thorough cleaning? Do you think it's daily? Probably not. Like a full disinfectant
No.
by someone who works at the studio?
No.
Probably not. Just try not to think about it and go about my life. But
Because the people who worked at like tanning salons when I went back in the day, it was like someone in high school or college who was like,
Yeah.
do you want the sparkle lotion? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like their parents owned it and then they just like needed a job for the summer.
I think I used one that had said like Diva Dark.
Yeah.
And it definitely
Like,
had.
do you want a
and it-
sticker? The
Playboy sticker.
Wait, can we
I
bring
was
those back?
I was just about to ask, what was your sticker of choice? Mine was the Playboy bunny.
Mine was either the Playboy or the outline of
The heart.
The heart of
The
the Playboy
outline
bunny.
of the heart was
Yeah.
so kind. Like I love
Cunt.
it.
You guys, we could bring that back with spray tans.
with spray tans.
Can
Should we start the
Yeah,
revolution?
I
I want to put it right here.
yeah,
my,
that
like,
was where you always put it
tummy.
because when you
Yeah.
got out, you had to like test
Yeah.
the darkness.
Yeah.
You just see your skin cancer forming.
I'll be healing my inner teenager.
That one chick who keeps going back and she's amazing, but her content is really triggering for me that she's doing all the like millennial fads that are coming back around, like the layered of the tank tops and like Gen Z's like discovering all this shit.
Some of them are getting a little like crazy.
Yeah.
Like
They're-
we don't need to bring everything back. Not everything
That's
was
coming
cute.
No.
is my point though. Like that is
Well,
next.
that
and that's
we
a
can
good,
allow. I'll
yeah,
allow it.
like True Religion with the white stitching
I'm trying to
and the
think of some-
bedazzle pocket flap.
the tops that had like little like puckers everywhere.
Yeah.
Wait, which
Yeah,
one?
that you can
oh,
play
those,
like
that,
this.
That
Those are
shrunk
at
down
Target
to-
right now, apparently.
The balloons that were like this. They
They look like little tiny boobs.
but they were. I only saw those sold.
horrible.
Those were only sold at like kiosks or like in the middle of the night.
Did you see Dua
Like-
Lipa wearing the like? Remember the flats that were like basket weave
Yeah, I love those.
Do you mean Dula
with like the little
flowers?
that you used to get off the street? Yeah,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
love
But now they're like designer.
okay, but
Those
those
used to
were
be, like,
those cost $2.
Yeah.
and you wore those one time and they broke.
Yeah,
like
Correct.
designer my ass.
Oh God.
Okay, well, this is one that I can get on board with. So perhaps we should start it.
Yeah.
Oh, the
yeah.
sticker.
Or the heart.
The sticker for the tan.
No, let's literally do it. I'll like buy some on Amazon and then we can all do it.
Yes. Whoever got the dolphin?
I'm from Florida. I feel like there was probably a lot of dolphins going on.
Listen, Florida, there's a lot of
I was gonna say, little Miss Melanoma.
Miss Melanoma.
That's my
20
little like
20
those little
what year?
cartoon things. Oh,
Miss Melanoma.
We're gonna put you in the back of a Camaro. Is that a is that
just the word melanoma just like across.
to
Oh my
cover
God,
the scar?
but
Yours is right there. So we
well, I
don't
feel
want-
like I gotta go the other way.
Yeah,
to leave it
you
out.
can't
like
cover
really,
it.
Yeah.
to let her have her moment.
Not the.
Hi, help, heal me.
You could bedazzle.
Mm,
Do like a little body glitter.
Yeah.
Body glitter should
Mm.
come back.
I could get stoned it.
Oh, body glitter. Did she ever leave?
Mm.
Not really,
feel
but
like she
like,
took new
but we
forms.
did it. We had it like in the
Chunky.
roll on,
And we had it drugstore. It was LA
pots.
Styles gel with glitter in it. Okay, it
Yeah.
wasn't. Yeah, it was like it took form and had solid, like could do the robot, and then would get back in the pot, and you rubbed it on your body. Kids
Yes.
today
it
don't
could
know.
like it had
They don't know.
peaks in it, you know.
Yeah.
And it smelled weird.
Kind of chemical smell.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't call you Little Miss Melanoma for
Flammable.
nothing.
Yes.
I'm just curious because how much did you tan? Like in terms of that happening to you, do you think that was like because you were a Floridian and grew up in the time where it was like people didn't care as much, or was it because you were tanning, or both? Like, what do you think happened?
I think it was probably a combination, but I was tanning a lot. I would get the month or the week unlimited.
How old were you when you started tanning?
Well, I was a child when I was like tanning at the beach, just laying out in the sun at the beach and being outside.
I mean, in beds.
In beds, I was in high school, and everyone was doing it, and it was very cool to be tan and very uncool to not be tan. So I wanted to be very tan, and I did. I would get very, very tan. I never sunburned ever, so I was like, I'm not sunburned. Obviously, that means I'm like
Yeah, we thought that was the
immune.
marker.
I
of,
never burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just get really tan. So I would go like in the summers, if I didn't have like cheer practice or something, like I would go to the beach in the morning. I would like lay out with baby oil. If you mix tip, but don't do this. But I would mix baby oil with Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola had that like the color of it would like help like bronze and stuff.
So you were
Like,
just like a sticky little hamster? I'm so confused.
I
Is
was
that not
a
the
s-
stickiest fucking thing you've ever experienced?
then I would get in the water. And then the salt water also like when you're in the water helps like you
Etch off a
tan
layer
more.
of your dermis.
Yeah, so I was tanning. It was the baby oil, it was the Coca-Cola, it was the salt water, and then I would like throughout that same week, I would also go to the tanning bed, and I would lay in there for 20 minutes every time.
Good Lord.
Oh my
You were
God.
just
I'd be like, I want
cooking
max.
yourself.
I was cooking myself. If I was to show you pictures of me, you'd be like, I was very, very tan. I used to joke that I was like, all right, guys, I'd be like, I'm off to go give myself,
Skin cancer.
Dude.
and then literally, no, the universe was like, hey, fuck you. You actually are.
We heard your manifestations.
Yeah, I literally.
You're so powerful. You're mine.
Be careful what you manifest for.
Yeah,
folks.
so,
No.
but I was lucky that it wasn't worse given
Oh,
my
God.
history.
My mom grew up in Florida, as you know, and obviously was mom age. So it was even worse for them. So baby oil, the whole nine.
Mm-hmm.
She moved to Seattle when she was 23, had horrible seasonal depression because she could not handle it. So she did a tanning bed every day until she was like in her 40s. And she had basal cell, which it's not the one that eventually capped her ass, but it was a different, it was like, it wasn't malignant. But because of that, we were not allowed to tan. And I'm very fair skinned, but I can get tan similarly, but I usually burn. So when I went to college, I went to a small college town in bumfuck nowhere, Washington. And there was a tanning salon there. So all the sorority girls, we would all go and get it was like $20 for a month unlimited. And if there were the bad beds. The photos of us when it was, I shit you not, -10 degrees in February of my skin color, all of us, a group of 10 girls that are like so falsely tan in like our white ass teeth.
There's also like the bronzer era too. So you're adding on.
Yeah.
I was like, who like got ready and then looked in the mirror and was like, totally looked the part and just like whipped around and went to a party. Crazy.
2001 Y2K era was wild.
Were you
But
a
you're like
tanning bed?
looking at like Britney Spears and you're like, oh God, I want to look like that.
I would go to the tanning bed like before like it's school dance or something or before like spring break. But I didn't go habitually, no. I mean, it just wasn't something I could keep up with, or I don't know. It just was, it felt like very, and I was in Utah too. So
Maybe that's why your skin is so good. It's full of secrets.
I know. I'm still self-conscious about being pale.
I am too, but this is Sally Hansen.
But I'm also
spray
like
aerosol this
I've always
morning.
been also very blotchy. Like you could like, I feel like my skin is like see-through. So that doesn't help. Like if I could just be pale, but like even toned,
yeah.
I think I would feel better about it.
My skin, it looks purple when it's its natural because it's so translucent and
Like
Yeah.
literally like
yeah.
I have no.
I look
yeah,
like
it's-
I look like a chicken.
Like if you were to pull the feathers off of a chicken.
Like a
And stick it in the
Uncooked-
basement. That's what.
uncooked naked chicken is what
Yeah.
my skin looks like.
It's
It's not
I'm
pretty.
unseasoned.
Oh my god! But I'm like 50 SPF.
I was
all the
like
time,
really
you know, I'm, like, so
into-
crazy about it
Now.
now.
I
Now
was
I'm-
really into like sunning in the hair.
Same.
But
What's that? What is that? Is it like light?
You
It
never
was-
used sunnin?
what?
Bring it back.
I literally have no idea what that is. I mean,
Do they
we
still sell it?
use lemons.
Okay, it's that.
Similar effect, but
So you would just spray it in your hair, and it would like the sun. I don't know what was in it.
what
What color is that? What you did in season whatever of Vanderpump Rules, and you had blonde hair?
No, obviously not.
What color did that shit make your hair?
No.
sun kissed. Yeah, did it work on
Okay.
yours?
When I was younger, my hair was actually kind of lighter.
I've seen
That makes
pictures of
sense?
you. Your hair was like a lighter shade.
Yeah, it's like just as I've gotten older, it's gotten darker.
Same.
Like, I don't know. It's
What was that
fun.
giggle?
I'm just laughing because no, in the summertime, I was outside all day, every day,
Mhm.
like never came inside, didn't wear shoes, so I would put sun in my hair too.
Mhm.
I think that helped.
I'm gonna get you some.
Okay. Okay, because
I'm sure Alyssa will love it.
I'm sure she will. Your hair is probably like a level lighter than mine, but we have similar, like born lighter, and then very few blondes are naturally this color. So yes, I bleach my hair, but like
Yeah, this is grown out for like almost a year, so this is not whatever it is natural
yeah,
at this point. I mean, you can probably see where maybe we're like, I don't know, something
is natural
starts.
to
I mean,
say.
I feel like
highlights
this is-
previously.
for me like 2 months, but
My
Yeah,
highlights are
this
just
is,
like gray strands now.
Cute.
So
Hot.
it's giving. Is it the Cruelle de Vil special?
yeah, it's giving bruja witch vibes.
Love it.
I forgot the cauldron. I meant to bring it in for this episode. It's in the trunk of my car.
The cauldron.
Just kidding. A cauldron for us to do.
Oh, I
our
thought you meant like the
promotion.
movie. Like you were bringing in like a DVD, Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. I meant more to like
Stir
Oh.
the
to stir
pot.
shit up.
Oh, just stir the pot.
Speaking of stirring the pot, when this airs, it'll be the day after, I think, the last part of the reunion.
Mhm.
Is there anything you care to talk about from the reunion or even this season?
Mm.
Like, I'm asking because I know it's not something you typically like to talk about, but people are going to want us to at least ask. So, like, is there anything that you want to clarify, say, just smile from the reunion
Just kidding. From the reunion.
or the season
No,
in general?
well, there's
like,
actually some
any of it.
people who were like, "Oh, I wish that she would have watched the whole season because then she would have been coming in guns blazing with this person or that person." And the thing is that I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I saw plenty of clips online.
But I still feel like there
saw-
was some stuff that you didn't see, or if like seeing just
Yeah.
it in a whole would have maybe.
I feel like
Change- I don't
I mean,
know.
listen, I went there, I flew in, stayed at Katie's, and then literally got on a plane that night after the reunion to fly back and do
Mm-hmm.
2 shows the next day. You know, I was doing my best to like show up, but at the same time, it was like, I don't have that strong of feelings about, like, I don't think it would have changed anything about like how I responded to things.
Yeah.
Because I also was like, I really like don't feel, even like if I feel deeply about something, I mean, which you do see me talk about the things I felt strongly about, but other stuff I'm like, am I really gonna sit there and like correct every little lie, interject the whole? No, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just
kinda like, if
it
they
feels
wanna
like a
think
losing
that-
battle.
Yeah, I'm at a point now, I feel like something that's changed for me as a person over my almost 39 years, is I've become a little bit like, what you say about me, you can think that. I don't care. Because like it doesn't change my life, or it doesn't change who I am if you think that about me, especially if
Mhm.
you're not a part of my life really on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So it's like most of like what's being said, like I could sit there and I could correct it and I could be like, actually no, and like get into it. But it's like, for what? For who?
Mhm.
Who would I
Right.
be doing that for? So I was like,
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there anything else for you, like in the same breath?
I mean, I feel like when it's at the reunion, I don't like to sit and scream and yell, especially if like you're not gonna let me talk, you're not gonna let me finish, you're not gonna let me answer, then what's the point? You know, if I was gonna bring up 3 different instances that happened over the course of a year and a half that aren't necessarily related to one another and give me whiplash, and I'm gonna try to answer, and then I have Tom Schwartz trying to talk to me and Sheena trying to talk to me, and I'm like, which one are we starting with? Because none of this has anything to do with, and all of it's only being brought up to try to make me look like a shitty person. It just felt like, so I was just kind of like, you know what? Fuck this.
Mm-hmm.
I hated the ending of it all. I hated that they waited to show us that 5 minutes because
Mhm.
I was like, this feels mean, and it's just mean towards Ariana. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't for any of us. Like there was
Mhm.
nothing shocking in it for any of us. It was only
Mhm.
mean towards one person.
What were your thoughts
Mhm.
on that, of like them doing that, of waiting until the end of the reunion to show you guys the last few minutes? And by the way, I said before that when you were like, I know what's going to happen this season. They're going to try and give me a bad arc and like give Tom this redemption, whatever. And I was like, I don't really see that. Like maybe a little bit. You were so fucking right. And like they didn't do a good job of it. It was ridiculous. But
No, they didn't.
No.
they thought they ate several times. And I was like,
They
oh,
really-
that didn't land.
Did not do what they thought.
But
they were
when
doing.
that happened, like, what were you thinking? Like, as you were watching it, and after you left the reunion, did it really settle in more that, like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, you see me mouth like, what the fuck? I think to Sheena,
Mm-hmm.
which was literally like, oh, so this is what they're doing. This is why they said like, oh, you guys don't have, because when they emailed the episodes, they're like, you'll notice that you don't have da da da. But then they didn't really say why. And so I was like, oh, so it felt like, honestly, I agree with you. It felt very pointed towards me. It felt like, well, we have her trapped in this room now. So we didn't get what we wanted to get, this like some sort of tearful, whatever the hell. We didn't get to break her down IRL in the moment. So we're going to retaliate by doing that right now in a place where she's contractually obligated to be here
Mm-hmm.
and try to force this moment now.
Yeah.
And that's like, great. I cried. You guys happy now?
Yeah, it just felt mean. It didn't affect me. It didn't affect
Mhm.
anyone else in the way that it was going to affect her. So it's like, okay.
Yeah. And honestly, here's the thing that's so stupid. I gave them the best fucking ending to what that season could have had in that moment by leaving.
Because it was real.
It was real and it was exciting to watch.
Mhm.
Sorry, if you literally are only looking at it from a perspective of like good reality TV, I gave you good reality TV.
Yeah.
Standing there, you know what I mean? That this like conversation that was like being this like fake thing that
Manufactured.
they manufactured, yeah, thing that was like wanting to be had would have been a boring cap to a boring ass season,
Well,
to
the
be honest.
Alternative to everything that anyone was saying of just like being authentic, talk about. I'm like,
Yeah, like,
I don't-
here's authenticity right
the
here.
authenticity is always there. I don't have fake fights. I don't
Same.
create drama.
Well, I
don't.
did have one sort of fake fight.
Well, I don't make.
But-
But the thing is, I don't make a good show. I just am honest about what's happening in my life in that moment.
Mhm.
I'm not like, oh, let me rehash a fight or
Yeah.
a feeling that I had 6 months ago because that would be a really good TV moment. It's like, well, too bad we weren't filming back then.
Right.
But like, what's happening right now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I'm down to like show it all. What's
Yeah.
happening right now? It's like if you don't want to show it, if you're not going to air it, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. If there was like a situation where we're like, look, me and you are in on this together and we're going to kind of like lean into certain things to like, you know, make it a little bit more fun, that's fine. But as far as like real life stuff, that's always been real and authentic for me. And I can't fake that. And so when I'm being told to like, I'm like, what did I not show you? I showed you my like storage unit of a fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
I showed you like how if you watch the season and you don't see that how low I am during the whole time, like you need glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Like I showed all of that stuff. And if there's stuff that they filmed and then decided not to air, that has nothing to do with me. But I gave it all.
Yeah.
I even had to like convince Dan to film FaceTimes. He was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, well, please.
What were they expecting to happen? Like, okay, so you guys, 6 months after your partner of 10 years does this horrific thing to you, you're going to sit down with him at the season finale and hold hands, be like, you know, I do know the real you and this is
they
great.
wanted
Or they
the
wanted
Kristen Miami conversation redux, like 2.0.
A tearful apology from Tom
Which-
Sandoval.
But that's the thing is like the tearful apology is the 2 seconds later turn on it. That's why it's never a thing. Cause like there is no, you know, it's like two seconds after that, it turns on a dime. So you can't ever trust it anyway. So what's the point in having it?
Well, and then the other thing about Dan is it's very frustrating to me. Hi, Dan, because probably listening.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, miss you. The other thing about it is people point that out as if gives reason for you to have moved on. And like, fuck you, you're dating someone. Why aren't you over it? Again, it was 6 months later. It doesn't matter that you didn't put your life on hold.
Right, and being
to move
over that person romantically does not mean that you're over like the
Mind
stuff
fuck.
that you
The
went
trauma?
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And still going through because I'm still having to deal with like all of it. Like I'm still having to, I haven't been there since September. I'm still having to deal with it.
Well, and when people are like, she's dating someone and she was still living in the house up until not that long ago.
Up until last September, I was living in the house, which was like literally seconds after we stopped filming Vanderpump Rules. I got into an Airbnb because
Correct. But even in that
Dancer.
time, you guys might not have children together, but having a home, owning a home together.
spent my life savings on
He didn't
it.
buy that house and you didn't just move in with him. You guys bought that house together.
Mhm.
That is a legal binding contract.
Mhm.
I would say almost as complicated as a child, like right below that maybe. So like the points that people are making as to why your feelings were invalid were just real silly goose behavior, in my opinion.
It's real silly goose
You know
behavior.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. With summer right around the corner, Daily Harvest has been a game changer for me because it's less about quick fixes and more about building healthy habits.
I totally agree. Daily Harvest makes it easy to meet my goals and stick with them because I am not a creature of habit.
Mhm.
They take the planning, prep, and cleanup out of cooking by delivering my favorite veggie and fruit packed meals straight to my door.
With Daily Harvest, I'm getting tons of plant-based options, which we know I love, built on organic fruits and vegetables that are easy to prep, free of gluten, fillers, and seed oils, because like who wants her?
Mm.
Added starches and sugars. It really takes the guesswork and effort out of eating food that is yummy, but I know is good for me.
Usually keeping healthy habits means the same old boring meals, but not with Daily Harvest. They've got so many great options for any time of day, which means sticking to healthy habits is a total breeze.
I love having the dragon fruit and lime smoothie in the morning, kind of perks me up. And then when I'm cuddling up in my pajamas at night, some warm rosemary soup. I mean, we were talking about our
Soup.
passion for soups earlier.
Yeah,
So
I love pasta and a nice savory dish. So the asparagus risotto is one of my go-to favorites. Really hits the spot for me.
really does it for you.
Yeah, it does it for me.
And by using only recyclable or compostable packaging when possible, Daily Harvest is doing their part to take care of our earth, which again, super important to us, helps me limit my waste and just feels good.
Create healthy habits that last with Daily Harvest. For a limited time only, go to dailyharvest.com/disrespectfully to get $30 off your first box plus free shipping.
That's dailyharvest.com/disrespectfully for $30 off your first box and free shipping. dailyharvest.com/disrespectfully.
Last week we were talking about our everything showers. Love.
Do you know what's funny? I meant to tell you this earlier, dead ass. I did an everything shower last night and I came in sleek and smooth and feeling good. Did you notice? Like
I
you
was
could tell my jeans were fitting differently. You're like,
I was going to say, you just look like extra fresh.
she's
today.
glowing.
I actually did mine last night. And that's why I'm excited to talk about Osea since it's one of my everything shower essentials. Also, you know that feeling when a scent just brings up a memory?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Every time I use Osea, I am immediately brought back to just like that incredible vacation feeling. That's the feeling I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're not brought back to the basement and like the reminders of all
No,
those things.
vacation.
It's the vacation.
Yes.
Osea's Undaria algae body oil smells like summer, bottled with all natural, uplifting notes of mango, mandarin, grapefruit, lime, and cypress, which this body oil has become so important to me. It's my favorite last step to like lock everything in.
Ooh, I love
Love
that.
her.
And while I love how Osea smells, this body oil is also clinically proven to instantly improve skin elasticity and deeply moisturize, leaving skin silky and soft.
Yeah, it not only makes you feel like you're at the beach, but also makes you look like you've just come from the beach.
Mm.
I personally love that cute little summer glow I get after a day on the beach. Obviously with SPF, don't come for me. It delivers the coveted post-vacation glow like you just returned from that tropical getaway.
Love. And right now you can get 10% off your first order with our code disrespectfully at oseamalibu.com.
I love how my skin looks and feels after using the Osea algae body oil. I not only feel like I'm glowing, but also like sculpted, like snatched and buttery soft. Like
Dana and I talk about it all the time. It's super important for us to use clean skincare. Osea is clean, vegan, clinically proven, seaweed infused, cruelty free, and climate neutral. That is an incredible list.
incredible. Get healthy, glowing skin for summer with clean, vegan skin and body care from Osea. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code disrespectfully at oseamalibu.com.
You'll get free samples with every order we love and free shipping on orders over $60. head to oseamalibu.com and use code disrespectfully for 10% off.
I'm sorry they did that to you. You also won. So I happy for you about that.
Well, not with any help
Team.
from, but I'm just happy it's over, to be honest. Very happy it's over.
You don't want to go back and relive that day several
No.
more times.
Oh, you know what else some people thought? Which, on a lighter note, in regards to it, they thought that I was going to Applebee's as like a dig against Chili's. And I was like, well, you guys didn't do that collab until like very recently.
No.
And obviously that was filmed in like September. But also, I also love Chili's. So I love it all.
Whereas I was gonna say,
Yeah.
we're a friend to all chain restaurants.
And the reason we went
But
to
there's something
Applebee's is
about
because it was
that
the only
particular-
one open.
I know, but there's something about that. Isn't it like one of the big, I don't know. There's something about that particular Applebee's too.
It's the second biggest
The
Applebee's
second biggest
like in the
Yeah.
world.
So,
The
yeah,
first
no,
one
this-
being
this
first biggest
was-
being in Times Square.
this
obviously.
was pre
Olive Garden.
pre our thing with Chili's. So this is
yeah.
Well, we're gonna head down under. I keep seeing on TikTok a new cocktail at Outback Steakhouse that is a green shimmering cocktail that has a crocodile on it, and you get to take the
Ooh.
crocodile home.
That's cute.
And I'm like, that and a bloomin' onion.
But if
Sign me the
it-
fuck
But
up.
if it's green, does that mean there's like Midori in it?
Oh.
I don't want to know what's in it, I'm not gonna ask. I'm gonna get it. Like there's no way to be like, hey, can I get a scratch cocktail, please? Like they're not gonna do that. It's Outback.
It's
You have to go with it.
the announcer on those commercials is always like, I will buy steakhouse. It's like the weirdest Australian accent ever.
Do you want to get a cocktail?
I would love a
I'll get a
cocktail, and a
cocktail.
bloomin' onion. Say less. What else do they have at I don't know if have I been to an Outback?
I haven't been in years, but I have. But like the bloomin' onion
The
is
bloomin'
their-
onion
that's
is
their
like
That's
flagship
the
of-
star
yeah.
of
That
the
is
show.
the
It is.
star.
We used to go to Outback when I would go home to visit in Melbourne because my grandma at times would be like a very picky eater, but she can get like the salad that she likes there. So we would oftentimes go to Outback for lunch.
We didn't go out to eat a ton growing up, but when we did, it was usually this Mexican restaurant called Azteca or Red Robin. But like Outback was like, holy shit, we're going to Outback.
Do you know what I
Like,
love when people
what?
talk about like what was like your like this place is fancy growing up?
What was yours?
Macaroni Grill.
Mine was Ruby Tuesdays.
Or like an Olive Garden. That
They had a
shit was
salad bar.
pretty,
Yeah. Yeah.
Olive Garden for like prom or homecoming was like the
Yeah.
best.
But probably Macaroni Grill. It's like, this place is nice.
I never had one of those. That sounds. There was one
Yeah.
for us. The marker was like, we don't have one, but there's one in Orlando,
There's one. Oh, the next
which
city.
means that like.
Mhm.
Because Orlando's like the bigger
Mhm.
city, so you're like, oh, they have one in Orlando. So if we go to Orlando, we gotta go
Is
to
it tree?
Ruby Tuesdays or Macaroni
Ooh.
Grill or like whatever it is. And then if we got one in Melbourne, big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal.
It was like the something about her opening, but in Melbourne. Like
Yeah.
I think mine was Outback Steakhouse because it had the word. I was like, what a steakhouse?
Steakhouse.
It's a steakhouse.
It's a fucking steakhouse.
Steakhouse.
Look at the knives. They have multiple knives here. Like, holy shit.
They got serrated knives, everybody.
Yeah.
There's a salad plate.
This knife is heavy.
Salad plates. I'm gonna cry.
Oh God.
But no, I love there's so many places that cropped up that I forgot about too, and I was just like, oh, Ruby Tuesdays, that was
Mhm.
one.
The salad bar is what got me with that
Mm.
one.
I loved a salad bar.
I
yeah.
still love a
So
salad
much baby
bar.
corn.
I will go to Whole Foods and get the heaviest container from that salad bar.
Mhm.
yeah.
And I've had people be like, you shouldn't, anybody could come in. I'm like, listen, it's worth the risk. For me.
Sometimes you got to roll the dice.
Even in New York, like, it's worth the risk for me.
Remember at like Sizzlers, they had like the kids like
Yeah.
buffet line or whatever, and that place was so dark. I remember there being like bites taken out of like the chicken nuggets,
Kids are disgusting.
What?
put back in like the bin
So
or whatever.
gross.
the
I
little
feel like
tin.
waiting was based on like a Sizzlers or an Applebee's, like one of the two.
Oh, see, Sizzlers, that's one that we never had. I would have thought that was like very fancy.
I feel like the waiting was more like of like an Applebee's vibe.
Did you guys have Old Country Buffet?
no.
Old Town.
Ours was called Old Country
we have
Buffet.
Cracker Barrel.
I feel like I've talked about it before.
I've seen Old Town buffet.
It's just a nasty buffet, but that was another thing that I was
Golden
like,
Corral?
mm-mm.
No, you don't have that. We have Golden Corral.
I'm sure it's
I've
it's a
heard of-
buffet, right? It's just
Yeah,
like
I
it's like a
think
$10 entry, and then you go as hard as you can
Cece's
at
Pizza?
So, oh,
Cece's Pizza.
I've never been to a CC's.
Whoa, you're
But
missing
again,
out.
I don't know if that wasn't a Seattle
so
thing.
cheap.
No, but I always have this thing like Shakey's because, on the Citizens app, whenever I think about it, Tom, I used to have
What?
this joke. Shakey's Pizza.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with this? I'm so curious.
It's a joke because there's a domestic dispute.
At Shakey's Pizza. The Citizen app.
It was reporting. Yeah, so now every time I
It goes
see,
dun dun dun.
and I'm like, at the Shakey's. There's like, of course, at the Shakey's. It's called Shakey's. But now every time I see Shakey's, I'm always like, what's going on in there? Sorry, no offense to Shakey's. I'm sure this was just like
Just a one-off.
it was a, isolated incident. But anyways, I want, you know what? Soup Plantation really needs to come back. I think
Can
it's
we change
I think it's
the
coming.
name?
I feel like the names
The
that
name-
already made me like tense up a little bit.
No,
Why
and the
it
name
called
is
that?
terrible. The name is terrible, but like I don't even like I don't
We'll call it soup.
soup.
Anyway,
Anyways, yeah, no, I hate that it's called that, but like I just think about
we knew most
I just
soup
think about
places, though.
I just think about the place itself and the food that the name it
Mhm.
disassociates so much from it, which is not great, but sorry. But apparently they are coming back in like Arizona, and then there's a version of it in Rancho Cucamonga. So I'm down for a little road trip ski.
I
if you
will go
will.
anywhere,
Mm.
drive long distances for soup.
I will travel for soup. Okay.
I love a soup.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with soup.
Okay,
But
great.
can I announce something really quickly?
Yeah.
Actually, I
Yeah.
forgot to say this. I feel like you two will both be excited. So Courtney, my best friend that you both
Mhm.
know from childhood that I've known since I was like 13, had her baby, her
Oh,
second baby.
Yay. Congrats.
Her name is Margot, so I want to do her first
Margot.
podcast. Margot, I want to do her first
Cute.
podcast shout out. However, Courtney, I spoke to her last Thursday, I believe it was, and I just had a gut feeling. I was like, her due date was on May 30th, but I was like, we haven't talked on the phone, so I want to catch her just in case or whatever. We talk on Thursday. I wake up Saturday morning to a text message. She was 4 centimeters dilated. They checked her that Thursday, and she was like, "No, I just want to wait." And I was like, "Okay, like, are you worried that it'll be an emergency?" And she was like, "I'm just gonna wait. Like, I have a lot of work to finish before mat leave." That young lady goes to the hospital. From the moment she stepped in the hospital to the moment she had a baby in her arms was 25 minutes.
Well, it sounds like a
natural birth.
Record.
That sounds like the dream, honestly.
natural. Oh, I don't think that's how she described it. We talked the next
Okay,
day.
never mind.
She,
I
she's,
take it back.
she's like, I'm glad it was quick, but it was a total emergency. They didn't even have her fully
never
checked
mind,
in
never
yet
mind, never mind. I
because
take it back, I
she
take
just
it
like
back.
was giving birth. She literally 25 minutes. She said it was the worst pain of her life and really shocking. She was screaming, shouting, which I literally was cackling about this all day because I can just picture it. She kept going, "I'm panicking. I am panicking." Like, didn't know what to say and was in so much pain. But then gave birth to a beautiful, healthy little baby girl.
Holy shit.
And
Oh
she
my
got here in a
gosh.
hurry. So, anywho, if any expectant mothers, Leia, if you find out you're 4 centimeters, perhaps
Go to the hospital.
get induced and
We
have
have
your
that
baby.
epidural
You know those-
right away.
Those videos of you see them like coming in the way and like into the like reception area, and they're just like the woman stands up. She's like, "I can't wait any longer," and she just like squats and just like pulls her baby
Pulls
out
the
of
baby
it.
right out. Like,
Seth Meyers describes
I
it.
love it. Oh, lobby baby.
Lobby baby,
Lobby
the
b-
best stand-up of all time. But he describes it as watching his wife carry a wet paper bag full of oranges, like trying to get to the door because it's coming out of her pants, and she just like lays down and pulls the baby out Mufasa style as he literally just stands there and watches.
Yeah.
Women can do anything. Anyway, Courtney, I love
Women can
you.
do anything.
Congratulations. We are thrilled that everyone is safe and happy. But
Oh
yeah,
my
it sounds like it was a
God.
pretty upsetting 25 minutes of her life.
God
When you said
damn.
initially, when you said 25 minutes, that's why I was like, that sounds great because like, you hear about people being in labor for like 2 freaking days. But
Well, she kind of was.
I guess she was,
just
and she
at
just didn't
home.
realize it.
Yeah, she's just at home doing it.
Jeez.
Well, and as you
so
guys
crazy,
know, Courtney's
scary.
the sweetest person alive.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she was swearing at everyone, being so mean. And the second the baby came
I would
out,
be
she then
so mean.
apologized for till she checked out 36 hours later or whatever. And the nurses were like, "Stop, we're done. Like you're good. Like you were literally having an unexpected natural birth. It's fine what you said to us." But
I would be so mean.
oh, the meanest.
I would.
I mean, at a lot of times
I
for
mean,
no reason.
when I'm hangry.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hangers.
Picture me.
DEFCON.
Picture me.
I mean, if
picture
I
me in the
wake up
movie
too
theater.
early.
Picture me in the movie theater.
One Colonel fucking Holt.
One chip in someone's mouth, and I'm like, like I would be I would be alone because no one would be like, this woman
Like, you do it, lady.
She's hopeless.
You do it.
Yeah.
One person walks an average speed on the sidewalk in front of me. Hulk. I will walk comically fast to get away from them, and I call them turtles, and my entire body shuts down the same way you get about listening to people eat is me with turtles and aloof magoofs.
Yeah, but
One and the same.
you walk abnormally fast.
I know. So I'm
I
saying they're
walk fast. You're turbo speed.
yeah, but
And then I wouldn't wear like a music festival, and I have to keep up with you.
your tiny little legs.
My tiny legs.
I get a
Man,
cramp.
tiny legs. Wait for me.
I
I
get like-
legs.
I get like a side cramp when I'm trying to keep up with her.
I know, so,
Yeah.
and I don't
You
even
gotta like really, like engaged because
gotta
otherwise
lead with my center.
yeah.
well, and then it's like I'll cool it if someone will like touch my arm and be like holy shit, and then I'm like, ew, I'm sweating a little bit now. But I'm saying sometimes these people are walking, ooh, and then when there's a chain of turtles and they're blocking the entire sidewalk and truly walking, not even at a normal person's
that's,
pace.
That's
I'm like,
ridiculous.
This is me, but while driving, I Hulk out. I'm road rage,
also
big time.
Speaking of
Fuck out
that,
my way.
speaking of rage, should we do basement?
yeah, basement's perfect.
I've been contemplating this all
Okay.
morning, but I want you guys to go first. I'm scared.
Basement's my favorite part of my week. The lady's husband who took her young children when she was about to win a marathon brought her. If you have not seen this video, look it up on TikTok. Marathon lady kids. There's a finish line. He goes 5 feet past the finish line. So not in the direction of she has finished the race, has the kids. She's running down. There's a person right behind her. She's about to win a marathon. That is 26 miles. He basically like throws one of the kids at her and she curves the
The
kid
kid's like,
and
"Ah."
runs off. And then she wins a race and you see him in the background go like looking at people like, oh, what just happened? Weaponized incompetence. You didn't want her to win. That man's husband, first of all, I understand if the kids are like, wait, mommy doesn't want me. You did that. Why didn't you just wait at the finish line and have her 5 feet later at the finish line so they could have this big moment? But instead, you tried to mess her up from winning. Then you acted very confused as to why she ran away from the kid. I mean, in general, it's just like when women give birth, they are a mother, but they're also allowed to have other identities.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have to be a mother in that moment. She wasn't rejecting her kids. She wanted to win something that she had worked really hard for. Basement.
I'm so glad that
Disgusted.
other people are like
Had you seen
noticing
that?
it. Yeah. And I was like a little nervous at first that people would not see like what he was doing and like what he was pulling. But then everybody I saw that was like stitching that video were all like, no, this is fucked up. Which I was like, thank God people are seeing it because that shit infuriated me.
I was worried about it too, and I'm sure there are those people. But also,
Yeah.
congratulations to her on
Yeah,
winning, and
congrats on
good for
winning.
you for
Yeah,
choosing
killed
yourself
it.
to win for 2 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
Katie, who's
Wow.
in your basement?
Mine is a generalization because yesterday I experienced a lot of it on the way home, and it was because I get like road rage, but I don't get aggressive with it. I just mostly
mhm.
like call people names in my car, and
I just yell at my
fuck you.
yell.
But this one person got really aggressive with me. I was driving on Fountain, and this person thought I was like coming into their lane, barely like over in my own lane. He like kind of honked at me. I'm like, dude, I'm not. And like, you have plenty of room. And first of all, why are you like? It's kind of thick right now in the traffic area. So I try to get over a little bit more, but like also there's oncoming traffic this way. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck is your problem? So I get over. He comes over. When he starts to pass me, he swerves into my lane. First of all, why would you do that? Because if I have to get out of your way, I could swerve and then hit someone oncoming. So when people do that stuff because they're assholes and they're reckless and they're have road rage like that could cause other accidents that could be potentially fatal to other people. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't understand that. And whoever that person is, get in the basement and stay there because you should not be on the road because it's dangerous. I don't know. Like I just like all the rest of the night I was like really pissed off.
Yeah. People like that is what pisses me. What
Yeah,
gives
like,
me
he,
road
like-
rage. Because
he-
they're
Yeah.
so
I was-
insane.
I was like probably the furthest over in my lane I could get, and he honks me, but then he like does that to me. Who does that?
Was he driving a BMW?
He was driving. No,
They almost always drive BMWs.
no, he was driving a.
babe.
That's hostile.
He's
Okay,
driving
you
a
and I
Range
have
Rover.
cute. You and I have.
Oh.
Well, it's the other one. You and I have cute, productive road rage, though. I would say we don't want to hurt
Oh.
anyone ever, so it's a different thing.
Yeah,
But
it's mostly
fuck that
like
guy.
it's mostly experienced by me, and if there's someone in my car, they get to like hear me
Mhm.
yell.
Same. Yeah, I'm mostly just like pissed off at people. I'm like, go! What
Yeah,
the fuck is wrong with you?
I do a lot of the like where I'm like,
Someone said it's more powerful if you're mad at someone instead of flipping them off when you're driving to just get their eye contact.
I
and
no.
just put your thumbs
I
down.
love-
Thumb down.
I
That's
love
iconic.
I love to just like look at someone.
Well, you need to see if they look stupid
Yeah.
when you're getting around. Someone pisses you off, you like literally need to see their face and be like, you look like an idiot. Makes
Tell
you
me-
mad.
tell
Well,
me
my
s-
favorite thing is like I was driving on Outpost down towards Hollywood from the top, and there's the stop signs. I observed the stop signs, right? As any normal this person, and when people are parked on Outpost and it's very curvy, this person was coming from behind me, was blowing through every stop sign and was going around any person that was on the road.
No.
And I was like shocked. I was like, that's someone they're gonna get in an accident.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like me stopping every stop sign, got to the bottom of the hill, like Hillside and La Brea or whatever. We're next to each other. What was the point of all of that?
Yeah, I'm glad.
were you doing?
Yeah, you got there a lot faster.
You risked your life for that,
or someone else's life.
or someone,
Mm.
literally for that, just for us to be next to each other. Hi.
When people they're driving reckless like that, weaving, like trying to nearly missing people, and I'm just like, where
So
are you
this is
going?
Los Angeles.
Like,
You're
it's-
gonna get clogged
you're-
up.
You're
like,
not
what is-
getting anywhere fast right now.
No.
Anyway, who's in
Okay.
your basement?
So excited to hear yours.
Mine is a little bit general as well. I'm putting turbulence in the basement.
I hate turbulence too. I know you do
Turbulence
too.
literally killed somebody this week.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. That flight
Yes.
from
The London to Singapore flight.
Yeah.
10 hours into the flight, they hit some sort of air pocket and they were like, seatbelts, seatbelts, seatbelts. And like somebody said, like within moments that they said seatbelts, the plane, like people hit, there was blood everywhere. And they're saying that turbulence, as climate change gets worse, turbulence will keep getting worse. And before any of this happened, turbulence was already in my basement because
Mhm.
I hate it.
I hate turbulence too.
And when I follow pilots on TikTok, specifically because they'll make videos that will like make you feel better about it. But the thing that makes me hate it, I feel like no one ever gets right, like what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that the turbulence is going to make, like, when they're like, oh, the plane is not going to crash because of turbulence. That's not what I'm saying. If the plane was crashing for whatever reason, or there was an issue,
That's what it would feel like.
wouldn't it feel like turbulence?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So stop.
Free falling.
And I assume-
10,000 feet.
Yeah, exactly. And I assume me sitting there in my seat, you're not going to be communicating to me what the actual hell is going on. You're going to be up there trying to figure it out. It makes me, it makes me so mad. And then I also saw a TikTok this week of a flight attendant who was like, yeah, water landings, no such thing. You're dead.
Well,
Yeah.
And I was like, great.
what just made me laugh about that is I hate when people are like, just look at the flight attendants during turbulence because if they're calm, everything's fine. I'm like, what if they're not?
They're trained
What
to-
if they're freaking the fuck out? Then what do I
What
do?
if they're like me, where they act calm because they're trying to convince themselves
They're
to be
trained to
calm?
be calm.
Right.
That's their
But also in that situation, I bet they weren't calm. I bet they were like, holy shit, hold on.
Wait, so
Like,
somebody died because they hit?
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of people in the ICU still from this.
Well, I always
I
keep my
always
zip
sit with
on.
my I always keep my seatbelt on when I'm in my seat regardless.
Yeah.
But imagine you're in the bathroom.
I thought about that too because I was like, reminding me of that episode of Jackass when they knocked that guy over in the porta potty. So in addition to your life
Because they
being
said it was
physically threatened,
moments
you're in
before.
the potty in the sky and you're just being shaken around like a mixed drink
Mhm.
with all that fluid. There's so many factors there that are horrible.
What can we do with planes to fix this going forward?
Well,
I
as you
don't-
said, climate change.
Right,
Coming
but
for all
like,
of
so
us?
we got to figure out something about air travel because sometimes it's inevitable. And I literally already get so scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turbulence in the basement forever and ever.
No, people like make fun of me too when I get scared during turbulence. They're just like, they're like, I love it. It's fun. It's like a ride. I'm like, you're psycho.
That's psychotic.
Courtney says that I used to have a debilitating fear of flying to the point that I could almost not fly and then had to fly a lot for a job. So I got exposed to it and it like
Mhm.
got
It
better.
helps when you, yeah.
So I'm able
But-
to stay calm during a flight. Like I used to like scream cry during taking off and
I
landing.
still
but
freak
now,
out during
But
takeoff.
the second
takeoff.
any turbulence, I'm like,
Mhm.
it's the most like primal fear through my entire body.
Mhm.
Hate flying,
Mm.
but we have to do it. So we just do, but hate.
Yeah.
That was a good
That was
basement.
a good basement.
That's relatable.
Thanks. I was really feeling it.
Okay.
That's good.
Should we do our
Yeah.
hometown hero?
Hometown hero. Okay, Madison says, hey ladies, so this is my wild dating story. I had been hanging out with this guy for about a month and he invited me to his neighbor's birthday party. I was hesitant because I wasn't sure if I was ready to meet any of his friends, but after conferring with my roommates, I decided to go for it. On the way to meet him, to go to this birthday party, he let me know he was already at the party and to just meet him there. Ugh, I hate
Hate.
I showed
Red
up
flag
and the
one.
party was a small gathering of his neighbor's closest friends. Everyone seemed really confused why I was there, and the guy I was with was clearly intoxicated. Ooh. At one point, the guy I was with reached into a crock pot full of barbecue meatballs and treated himself to a handful,
I'm picturing the crock.
despite there being silverware and plates sitting right next to it. The party guests were horrified, and I was so embarrassed. I asked him if we could go back over to his place because I felt like he was ruining his neighbor's birthday party. And to be honest, I was just so mortified and wanted to leave. We went back to his place and I asked him if he was doing okay because I hadn't seen him in this condition before. He tried to gaslight me and act as if nothing weird was going on. And honestly, I started to think that maybe I was overreacting. So we turned on a movie, Pretty Woman. Interesting choice. And began to snuggle on the couch. It was nice and normal until about 15 minutes before the movie ended. He began to start to cry and tell me about his past usage of heroin. I was extremely caught off guard and began to ask him some follow-up questions because what the fuck? He paused his crying and looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You think you know everything? You should go home." I immediately put on my shoes and left. I really should have left about 10 minutes into the party. Yep, obviously.
Mhm.
On the way home, I started to get multiple texts from him asking where I was, why I left, and asking me to come back so we could, trip shrooms. Oh my
Trip
Lord.
on shrooms. Like,
yeah, so we could
what?
trip shrooms. Okay. I did not go back. Prior to meeting this individual, I did do a background check, as I do for anyone that I meet on apps. And he did have multiple DUIs and a felony charge for assaulting a police officer. Those were my red flags, and I still proceeded to give this man a chance. Girl, you only have yourself to blame. Moral of the story is, if the background check comes back questionable, maybe give that more validity than a man that says he doesn't drink that much and never been in any real trouble.
Wow, Madison.
Honestly, Madison, the fact that after meatball fingers you didn't leave is like, I'm like picturing Wedding Singer when he like plops the meatballs in his hands. I'm like, girl, why didn't you fucking leave?
Well, I would
picturing a
no.
crock pot with the little mini ones.
Back it up even further. If someone invites me to go to a party and then tells me to meet them there, no thank you.
Because he lives next door, right? So he could have just waited.
Yes.
But he obviously went way earlier and got fucked up, or
And
he
then
got
you-
fucked up at his house and then went over.
And you show up and they're wasted. Ick.
Yeah.
Well, and especially that one
Sounds
freak,
like he wasn't very welcome at the party either.
yeah, gaslighter from a few years ago that told me he was like, oh, I barely drink. And then our second date, he got unbelievably blacked out. And I was like, oh, you actually drink excessively. But Madison, we're not victim blaming you. This is just
No,
This
thank you for
man
sharing.
is-
That was incredible.
also
story.
the way that he was like, wait, there's this guy on TikTok, obviously, who pretends to be this frat guy. And he always says these like gaslighting, these skits. And then he always goes, what's wrong? And it's so funny because something is so clearly wrong. I picture him being like, what's wrong? Come back. Let's do drugs.
Why'd
You
you
want to
leave?
come do drugs with you now?
This man needs to be sober,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Meatball,
Yeah, you don't want to do mushrooms.
meatball hands, immediate basement.
Pretty
Here.
woman.
Do you think while they were watching Pretty Woman, he still had like barbecue sauce kind of like in his nail beds?
100%.
Yeah, he did the flick rinse 100%. And then
he did not
they're-
use soap.
They're
at
like
all.
snuggling and his hand, the meatball hand is
It
on
kinda
her shoulder.
smelled
And
like-
she's like, kind of smells like sweet baby raisin here. Anyone smell-
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
Wow.
my God.
Wow.
Work of art. Should we WWDD?
WWDD.
This is from Amber. Hi, girlies. First of all, I'm a longtime fan and seriously loving this pod. Me too, Amber. Thank you for sharing your light and wisdom with us. I'm writing in because 2024 has been a series of unfortunate events. Long story short, I lost my grandma, who was my best friend, found myself jobless, currently dealing with a health scare of my own, and to top it all off, my therapist has gone on a permanent leave to be home with her babies. I just want advice on how to escape the permanent funk I have found myself in. I want to move forward, but feeling so stuck and down. Any words of wisdom would be greatly appreciated. Sending all my love. Keep being amazing. Wow, that sucks, Amber. I'm sorry.
Amber, that's a bummer.
That really sucks.
Hate all of this for you. What would you say to Amber?
I would say until you are able to find a new therapist, because that's a real bummer. Until you're able to do that, just like on a day-to-day basis, look for glimmers because, oftentimes, especially when going through like a literal series of unfortunate events, like you said, a lot of things can be like triggering or like something happens, you like spill your coffee and you're like, of course, again, like everything sucks. So like throughout the day, look for just like little glimmers as opposed to triggers of things that you can be like, okay, cool, things are turning around. Like there's something there that like brings you joy. Start there, but definitely it sucks. Trying to find a new therapist is the worst.
I, who am no longer online dating, would rather spend 8 hours live a day on plentyoffish.com than find a new therapist. Like it's harder than dating.
What's the
Farmers only.
Farmers only.
The right kind. Just kidding. Never. Never. So
horrible.
This kind of tacks onto that, but something that I started doing when I was getting better in 2021 after I was down real bad was writing in the morning 10 things I'm grateful for. And it's really small things. Let's start with 5 if that's easier. But like tiny things, even like I got a parking spot and the meter was full. Like tiny things. The more you focus on even the little things that are going right, it kind of glides you through the funk. And also, sometimes you have to sit in the fact that you're in a valley. That's fine. But like, keep in mind, everything is transient. Good things, but also even more positively, bad things. Like this will come to a conclusion. You will see the other side of it. So it's just about sustaining while you're dealing with that, in my opinion.
I agree with both of you. Darkest hours are just before the light. So while it's easy to kind of focus on the negativity, looking for the positives, gratitude, and also maybe just looking for things that can be a positive outlet, whether it's just like getting out for like a walk or something that just like helps clear your mind. I hate to call it a physical activity because I'm not like a super physical person, but like going for a walk, like outside, something about the fresh air, go around the block. I don't know, put on
you like smell a flower, you like see a pretty bird.
Like listening to like music that puts you in the right kind of mood and going out for a walk or something like that.
Like System of the Down.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Frequencies.
Yeah, something like that. It can be a game changer. Can like make your day. So I don't know, just something like it's like I don't know what it does. It's like something with your mind and your body, the way like they connect can help.
Agreed with that. Tacking on to that also, what's helping me going through my 50th time trying to quit nicotine, I got adult coloring books and I've been coloring so much, and you like put a podcast on, this podcast, audiobook, music, watch something, a lighthearted show, and just color, and like you're so focused. I think it's helpful.
Yeah.
I love a coloring book.
Amelia says, Dear Katie and Dana and Ariana, because Amelia didn't know she'd be here. This is my first ever time writing into the podcast due to high anxiety and fear. LOL. You two, however, create such a fun and positive atmosphere that it makes me feel safe to ask my question. After listening to your podcast, it actually gave me the confidence and strength to cut off my long distance situationship that had surpassed its shelf life. 1 year and 3 months. I didn't have a conversation with him whatsoever. I ghosted him, which I don't know if was the correct move or not. I don't feel like I needed closure from it or to waste any more time with the conversation when I would have just ended up being left on red. Was ghosting him the right choice, or should I have given him the opportunity to respond to my ending things? You both are my favorites and are the three of the most genuine people. What do we think?
You know, I feel like she knows the situation more than anything. And I feel like sometimes ghosting or doing the block thing will give you the opportunity to move on from it, because you know if he responds, he might say something that's going to keep you hanging on to it, going to keep you attached, keep you whatever into it. So, you know, if you don't need it from him, you don't want to hear anything from it. Sometimes the ghost is the. I hate the ghost.
Has he tried? Sounds like he hasn't. So
yeah, we need more info. But if you have not said anything and you guys just never spoke again, he's saying everything he needs to say. He doesn't care about you.
It sounds like it's the mutual ghost.
Yeah.
Like if you were certain that he was going to leave you on red anyway, then he doesn't deserve your attention anymore. It sounds like you made the right choice.
At first, when she said that, I was like, oh, not. But then when she said she would have been left on red, I'm like, oh, then yeah.
Yes.
Clearly, it seems like, mutual ghosting is happening here anyways.
Yeah, I'm not really a ghoster at all and like seldom a proponent of it, but I would say this is in like the 10% situation that it makes sense. Like if either it's so toxic and they're manipulating you and you just have to, or it's like it was a mutual ghost. So I think that you're good and you made the right choice. And I am so honored that our podcast helped you trim that ridiculous loser.
This is what we're here for, everybody.
This is what we're here for. Take a seat in the coven.
This is the work.
Let's levitate later.
All right. Anonymous says, hi, you guys are so strong and such an inspiration. Definitely my favorites. Thank you. How do you guys navigate and keep friendships with friends who are becoming moms? and starting a family. Sorry, that was just. My fiance and I are just not ready to have kids, but a lot of our friends are. Any advice would help. I mean, it's definitely not easy, I think, because you have to just accept and recognize that like you are in different phases and chapters in life, but keeping up with each other is really important to maintaining your friendship, but it goes both ways, obviously. You're not going to see as much of each other, but, you know, staying in each other's life is still important, I think.
I have this situation with like most of the people in my life from back home. So I would say, I think you definitely need to give space for the fact that things are going to change quite a bit.
It's like a mourning process a bit.
It totally is. But I also think that sometimes if you don't have children, whether you are with a partner or you're single, people who have children then expect the person who doesn't to just like be the one to take the brunt of the effort on. And that's not fair to you. So I think that while you can give space and support and maybe put more of an effort in because you understand what they're going through, you also are valid and a whole person and also have things going on. So like I would say, especially if they're a new mom or adjusting to multiple kids, give time for things to settle. But if you're still feeling that way, I think it's totally fair to have a conversation, say like, I love you. I understand that we're in different seasons of our life right now, but I don't want to lose this friendship. So it would be greatly appreciated if maybe you could check in with me every once in a while and whatever. And then if they don't, then I think it's something to let kind of fade away and just like appreciate it for what it is. I think it's so crazy how many people think a friendship changing or ending or simmering down is such a negative thing when it's just like, I think you guys just rolled through a certain period of your life and you having space for people who have more of the high frequency that you want will lead to you having the fullness that you're looking for. But it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I think like initially, like I don't know how old or young this person is, but like initially I think in my like early 30s, late 20s, when it was like the first couple of people started, there was a little bit of like, oh, and like some of them were people that like back in the day we'd be like, we're never doing this like together, you know, like we're gonna be like this forever. And then you're like, oh, okay. And you kind of like mourn what that friendship was in that era, but then there's also potential for like a new type of friendship to form or to keep going. And yeah, if it's something that it's just not working out, like it's okay to like not used to love that person, but they might be focused on something else and you're focused on something else, and like just kind of let it be what it is.
Totally.
Plus kids' birthday parties can be fun when you're the childless one.
There's cake.
There's cake.
I love kids' foods. That's that's a biggest plus for my relationships who now have kids. Pantry time.
Yeah.
Pantry time. Yeah. Get those Uncrustables out.
Yeah. Like, thanks, Mom.
Okay, well, our time together is coming to a close. You were such a great guest and so great having you. But also really quickly, let's talk about Love Island and going back to Broadway. Just give everyone a high overview of what's going to happen, how you're feeling about it.
Yeah,
Give us the business.
I'm very excited. I've been on a fitness journey trying to get ready for Love Island because Maya Jama, who hosts UK, is just the hottest person alive. And I feel like I really need to somehow step into this and like rise to that occasion of being my hottest self. So I'm perpetually sore and tired, but I'm very excited going back to Fiji, and I'll be back and forth. I go there twice. So I go to Fiji, then I come back here, and then I go to Fiji again, and then I come back here, and then I go to New York for Broadway again, which is also very exciting. But you know what? It's just gonna be what it is. And all the in-between times I'll be at the sandwich shop. So please come see me. And it'll be a really crazy summer.
We should go to New York in August and see.
Come see me.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking we're going to go for the sequel.
Come, like, not the opening. You know, I feel like opening it's a lot of pressure on the opening.
There's a lot going on.
And I always feel like there's a little bit of a like relaxation that happens like a week or 2 weeks into it that like just makes I feel more confident. So like, come then.
We will. Well, I was going to say last time when I went for the opening, it was such a quick trip. I was there for like 40 hours. Maybe it was so quick. So should we do a little like take our time in New York trip, go see her, and then
there's something else that's happening
but
in August too that I want to check out.
Do I know what it is?
No, but I'll share with you both because maybe I don't think.
Is it the Insane Clown? Is it the Gathering?
No, absolutely not.
Well, then we'll pick a time and come.
Yeah.
Do our little Carrie Bradshaw moment.
In my super secret plan.
in your super secret insane cloud posse gathering.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Is that what it is? You're not really starring in Broadway. Are you the new Juggalo? Are you the Juggalo?
I'm actually queen of the juggalos.
I knew it.
Surprise.
I need to announce
surprise,
something.
Surprise.
I came here today to announce that, actually.
Okay. Well, wow, we're getting the first scoop. People are going to flip out.
We're so excited. Thank you for coming here, though.
Thanks for having me.
Come back anytime.
I'm a huge fan.
Obviously.
It's the best podcast ever. People who aren't listening should definitely start, but I guess they would be listening if they heard me say that. So
It's possible. Okay. Love you. Bye.
okay, love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.